Okay, so the result of us tracking the entities are going to be something like this. So this is what we're going to end up with. And we're going to end up with one set of entities that we're tracking every day. So this report will be generated every day on Autopilot. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk SEO. A big part of ranking inside or doing SEO is branding and entity tracking. Most SEOs don't ever do entity tracking because they think their job is to rank a site. But if you're not tracking your entities, you're not tracking it on a daily basis or keeping track of it in any way, you wouldn't know if all the effort you're putting into ranking a site is actually translating to results on the back end. In some cases, it may be going in reverse. So if you want to know if your efforts are being rewarded by Google, you would want to do what's called entity tracking using Google's own knowledge graph. Now, and how it works. And then I'll show you the automated method that I've created that I use every day. It's on autopilot. And you can use this to to track your own entities. So by entities, I mean, if you're working for a brand, you're doing SEO for a brand, how is that brand showing up in Google? Is their visibility improving? Is the knowledge graph invisibility if their visibility in knowledge graph improving, and by how much and every day? So you can track that. You can also track your main keywords that you're trying to target, mainly brand related keywords. For instance, uh, Air Jordans. So if you have a product similar to Air Jordans and you're trying to track that branded product, this will be one of the ways of doing it. So you'd know exactly, whether you're going up or down. Again, when it comes to confidence level, which I'll show you, which I'll show you in the sheet, if your confidence level is below 50 or is going below 50, um, 50 and maybe 70, then you're in trouble. So you want to make sure that it's above 50 and it's growing and it's not lower than 50. Now, there are times when the confidence level will fluctuate a little bit, but that's fine. So now that I have the introduction out of the way, let's jump to the video. As you can see, this is a test report. So I've been tracking this, but then I deleted this and redid this because the script hung up on me and I needed to change that. So first I'll show you what we're getting. So we're tracking Donald Trump as an entity and it's telling us the Google search URL for Donald Trump. It's also giving us his entity name, so which is the name here. This is the query, Donald Trump. And this is the type of entity. So this is a thing. This is also auto-generated. Um, and the importance of this is that when you're incorporating entities in your schema, this is the type you'd want to use. So this is the type that should be referred to in your schema because this is how Google is looking at it. Then you have the description, which is a brief description, and then you have the URL to Donald Trump's website, and you also have the confidence score of this result. The confidence score, the higher, the better. Okay, if it's a 0, then that's zero confidence that this entity uh, is in Google's knowledge graph. So that's one thing. So anything above 500 is good. Usually, you want to see this go up. So you want to see the confidence score of the entities that you're tracking and you're doing branding and marketing for go up. Um, if you also go here, so we go down. So we've got Donald Trump 3 times. So this was an error that was generated. Whereas we're tracking Donald Trump, Steve Bannon, me, of course, and Cloud SEO Dubai. Now, if you scroll down, we've got me, so there's nothing over here. The Cloud SEO Dubai, nothing over here, because I've not made it to knowledge graph. There is a 0 confidence score, which is why this is blank. We'll see that Donald Trump here has been tracked 3 times for some reason, and this was something that we addressed. Now, in one instance, it's showing up as a organization. That's because there are 3 entities that Google associates with Donald Trump. So Donald Trump as an organization. So it says we are election campaign, a thing, so American businessman, and another thing which is 45th U.S. president. So in these 3 instances, Donald Trump is being tracked. Now, if we wanted to, let's say, remove all of this, okay, and we're tracking our own set of entities, which I think is more relevant to this video. Usually if you're doing branding or if you're doing any kind of marketing for your business, or you're also engaging in SEO, you'd want to track that and whether or not you're making it to the knowledge graph. So you want to track your business and you'd want to track yourself if you're branding yourself. So over here, as you can see, I put my name. This hasn't done any good. I put Steve Bannon over here. For some reason, the script was not picking it up. So what I'll do is I'll change these entities to something that makes more sense. So I'll do Steve Jobs, which I know there is a knowledge graph for. I will do Apple computer. Okay. And also what happens is if there's a duplicate, so if there are two Apple computers, maybe one's in China or in some other place, that is also tracked. We also then put in another entity, IBM. All right. So IBM computers. So put these three entities in. You can go ahead and remove this entity. And just so that you guys know, if you go here and you make a copy, you will get a copy of this script. Okay. So I'll show you the script and how this works. So once you enter the entities over here, obviously this is the date. So for every date that's tracked, you go back to the script, and this is where you want to insert your Google API. So the Google API is pretty easy to generate. You go to Google Cloud. All right, so this is Google's cloud platform. You'll go here and you'll sign in, and you'll go to console. I've already signed in, so this is simple. Once you're here, you'll create a project and you'll go to APIs and services, and you'll create an API. Okay, so we'll go here, create an API. Over here, enable APIs. Over here, API and services. Perhaps shortest thing to do is over here, you go to credentials. And once you've created a project, you go to credentials. And over here, you hit create credentials. And this is where you'll create your API. And then once it's created, you'll see I've created two APIs. One was on the 11th of December. This is the one I'm using over here in this video. And you will see if you hit show key, this will show you the key. Obviously, I don't want to show my API. I don't want to show any of the stuff that I have created over here because anyone would then be able to use my API. So once you have the API, you copy it and you paste it over here where it says replace with your Google API. And obviously, you want to retain these commas. Once you've done, nothing else needs to be changed on this script. If you make a change, even by mistake, the script will not run. So you go ahead, we'll run the script. We'll give it a few seconds. So we'll give it a second over here for it to populate these cells. First time you run the script, it will ask for permissions. So you need to make sure to give it the permission. Once you've done that, you'll just run it through and this should execute without a hitch. It's skipping all these rows because there's nothing in the rows over here. So see nothing, but there are errors here, or you see that the execution is not completed for any reason. You know that there's a problem with the scripts. But over here, row 5, appended one result, appended one result, appended one result. So this has been successful. Once this is done, you can go ahead and refresh the sheet. And over here, you'll see because we ran it twice, we kind of have it twice. So let's go to the results. We've got Steve Jobs here saying former CEO of Apple. Over here, website, none. He doesn't have a personal website. Next one is Steve Jobs saying 2015 film. So this was the film about Steve Jobs. This is Steve Jobs from Apple Computer. So book by Walter Isaacson. And over here, you can see confidence scores are very high because they are in Google Graph, Knowledge Graph, and Apple Computer, IBM. So you can see he's associated with IBM. So these are associated entities, which when you're doing schema markup, when you're writing content, you want to reference these. Now, even if you're not an established entity, you can piggyback off these entities. And this is something I will show in a later video. And you can see over here, confidence score is low. So IBM Computers has a significantly lower confidence score compared to Steve Jobs, compared to Apple computers. And we could go down over here and we have the same thing because we ran it twice. As you can see, I have 0 because I don't have an entity set up. Right? I'm not seen as an entity. So the next thing is once you see that the script runs, you go back over here. And just so that this is clear, sometimes you will need to rephrase the sheet. So if this script has run successfully, you don't see anything over here, just hit refresh the sheet. Now you're going back to this over here. Now we want to like execute this, let's say every day. Okay. So we'll go here and we'll go to, all right, triggers. We'll do add triggers. All right. And this is the first trigger. So which function to run. So this is the function that we're running. Knowledge graph tracking. So this is already selected. Choose which deployment should run. We'll retain head. Select event source from spreadsheet. Okay. Select event type on open, on edit, on change. So usually you'll just keep this on open. When you open the sheet, it'll automatically run. Failure notification, notify me daily. You can also do an hourly, right? You can also add a failure notification, notify me immediately. So if there's a failure running the script, you will be notified. Go ahead, click save. And what will happen here is that this script will run every day, same time, whenever you open it up. So for me, if you need to change this, you click edit and you can change how this sheet runs. So I usually run this every day because I need to check a couple of entities on a daily basis. This is free to do. It also gives me the required information if I need to do schema, if I'm chalking up content. This is extremely helpful. I hope this helps you guys. So I hope you guys found the video useful. Like and subscribe as always. Leave a comment below and I will